Welcome back to Garden Guru. If your yard has basically nothing, or just that thin, sparse, builder-grade landscaping, the biggest mistake is starting in the wrong place, because a few random shrubs, some mulch, or whatever looked good at the garden center usually won't fix it. So today, I'm going to show you exactly where to start when your yard has nothing, and what order actually makes the whole space come together. This is one of the most common situations homeowners deal with. A new house, a blank yard, maybe a little builder planting, maybe almost nothing at all. And the problem is not just that the yard is bare, it's that most people don't know what to do first, so they start buying. A few shrubs, a few flowers, maybe some edging, maybe some mulch, maybe a tree they're not sure about. And very quickly, the yard starts getting filled without ever really getting designed. That's what we want to avoid, because when a yard starts out blank, that's actually a huge advantage, if you build it in the right order. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the order I'd use, what to think about first, what to build next, what to fill in later, and what people waste money on way too early. Let's get into it. Number 1. Start with how the yard needs to work. Before plants, before mulch, before details, start with how the yard needs to function. This is the part people skip all the time. They look at a blank yard and think, what should I plant? But that's usually not the first question. The first question is, how does this yard need to work? Where do people enter? Where do they walk? Where do they sit? Where do they gather? What needs privacy? What needs shade? What needs to stay open? Because if you get the use wrong, the yard can end up looking landscaped but still feeling awkward. And that's one of the most frustrating outcomes. The space may technically have plants, but the layout still doesn't help real life happen there. So when I start with a blank yard, I'm looking first for the arrival, the pathways, the seating area, the private areas, and the most important use zones. That does not mean you need to build everything immediately. It means you need to know where the important zones are before you start placing things. Because a blank yard does not need random landscaping, it needs a plan for how people actually live in the space. Number 2. Then establish the big structural moves. Once the use areas make sense, the next thing to do is create the structural framework. This is where the yard starts becoming something more than a blank lot. And this is also where a lot of builder-grade yards go wrong. They often start with tiny shrubs, thin mulch islands, scattered foundation plants, or a few isolated little beds. And that almost always leaves the yard feeling weak, because the big structural moves were never made. What gives a yard structure? Usually things like trees, anchor shrubs, stronger bed shapes, privacy planting where it matters, framing at the entry, and perimeter support that helps the yard feel held together. This is the stage where the yard gets its bones, and the bones matter more than the little details. Because once the structure is right, the rest of the yard starts making sense much faster. This is also where the before and after change becomes really powerful. A blank yard with scattered little plants still feels blank, but a yard with 1 or 2 strong beds, 1 anchoring tree, and more intentional structure suddenly feels like real design is happening. That's why I would much rather see 1 stronger bed, 1 good tree, 1 meaningful structural move, than 10 random small planting decisions. Because structure gives the yard confidence, and confidence is exactly what blank yards are missing. Number 3. Then define the edges and shapes. After the functional layout and structural planting, the next thing I'd focus on is the shape of the yard. This is where clarity starts showing up. Blank yards often feel awkward not just because they're bare, but because nothing is really defined. The lawn runs into everything, the beds feel arbitrary, the transitions feel weak, the eye doesn't know what belongs where. That's where shape matters. This means things like clearer bed lines, stronger lawn edges, more intentional curves or straight runs, cleaner transitions between lawn, mulch, patio, and planting. This part is important because it keeps the yard from feeling like we added some stuff instead of we designed the space. And again, This is where people often get tempted to rush into details too early. But if the shapes are weak, more plants won't really solve that. They'll just make the weak shapes busier. So I would always rather define the structure and the shapes first, then start filling them in. Because when the lines are stronger, even a partially planted yard already looks more intentional. And that is a huge win early on. Number 4, then build the planting in layers. Once the yard has functional zones, structural moves, and better defined shapes, then it starts making sense to build out the planting layers. This is where the yard begins to feel fuller, softer, and more complete. But now you're not guessing. Now you're adding plants into a framework that already works, and that changes everything. This is where you can start layering shrubs, grasses, perennials, lower planting, ground covers, seasonal color. But the important thing is that these are now supporting the bigger design. They are not trying to be the design by themselves. That's a huge difference. Because in a blank yard, one of the easiest mistakes is trying to make small plants do the work of structure, and they usually can't. Small plants are finishing moves. They are softening moves. They are layering moves. They are not the first thing that makes the yard feel designed. So at this stage, I'm thinking, how does this planting support the anchor? How does it reinforce the edge? How does it repeat the strongest ideas? How does it help the yard feel more connected? That's how you keep the yard from becoming a collection of random purchases. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick break from the video to tell you about the latest free guide I created for you. This one is a small backyard layout guide, and it's completely free at the link below. If that sounds useful to you, be sure to download it. Now, back to the video. 5. Save the details for later. This is the part that can save people a lot of wasted money. Because once the yard starts coming together, the temptation is to start buying extra flowers, little accents, decorative pots, small ornaments, isolated feature plants, or lots of little filler. And this is where a blank yard can start losing clarity again. Because details are exciting, they feel like progress, they're easy to buy, but they should come later, not first. The strongest blank yard transformations usually happen because the owner got the order right. First the function, then the structure, then the shape, then the layering, then the detail. That sequence matters, because details look good after the yard has a framework. Without that framework, they usually just float. And floating details are one of the biggest reasons new landscapes still feel unfinished, even after money has been spent. So if your yard has almost nothing, one of the smartest things you can do is slow down and protect yourself from buying the wrong things too early. Because the goal is not to fill the yard quickly, it's to build it in a way that actually holds together. 6. What people waste money on too early. If I had to name the most common wrong first moves in a blank yard, they would be things like random small shrubs with no larger plan, isolated mulch islands, too many little beds, decorative accents before structure, flowers before framework, hardscape in places that don't solve the real use problem, foundation planting that doesn't connect to the rest of the yard. And the reason these go wrong is not because those things are always bad, it's because they happen too early. A flower bed can be great, a pot can be great, a path can be great, a patio can be great. But the question is always, does this make sense in the order of the yard? That's what separates a blank yard that becomes beautiful from a blank yard that just gets filled in pieces. And that is the big lesson I want people to take from this. A blank yard is not a shopping problem. It's an order of operations problem. So if your yard has almost nothing, here's the order I would follow. First, figure out how the yard needs to work. Then, establish the big structural moves. Then, define the edges and shapes. Then, build out the planting in layers. And save the smaller details for later. That order gives you the best chance of ending up with a yard that feels intentional instead of random. Because blank yards do not need everything all at once. They need the right things in the right sequence. And here's a simple way to know whether you're about to start in the wrong place. Ask yourself, 1. Do I know how this yard is supposed to work? 2. Have I created any real structure yet? 3. Am I about to buy details before the framework exists? That's the check. Because if the answer to those questions is no, no, and yes, then you probably need to step back before spending more money.
Well, there you have it. I hope this helped you feel more confident about where to start when your yard has nothing. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep getting your hands dirty. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Garden Guru, and I'll see you in the next one.